We're now entering the historic part of Carmel. This was a cellar that was built in the 1890s, and up to the 2000s it was full of cement bathtubs. These came out in 2004, and these tanks all came in. They all came in whole, and it just shows part of the investment that Carmel made in the last 7 or 8 years to modernize the winery. And it's all done within the historic building. And it's just an example of how old Carmel has been renewed.
So you've taken us into this large room, this large room full of tanks, and I see 2 different types of tanks, but this is just a massive, almost I guess it's a cellar, right?
Yeah, it's got a very nice history. When they first started making wine here, Baron Edmund de Rothschild's advisors had no idea it was so hot in July and August. And the first harvest all went to vinegar, and they couldn't use the wine. Now, you know, wine is something that you make it with the product you've got, and if it doesn't work or you make a mistake, it's not like a restaurateur that has a problem steak and he cooks another one. Here you've got to wait till the next year for more fruit. So the first year the wine all went to vinegar. It didn't matter. Rothschild was very rich. He paid the growers, he paid the farmers, everything was okay. The second year, they bought the first ice machine to Israel, which was massive blocks of ice, which they put in bags, and they put it in the big wooden barrels that they used for fermentation in those days to try and lower the temperature during the harvest. And again, all the wine went to waste. The third year, they tried the same with primitive water pipes running through the barrels, which they dropped into the barrels and run water through it to lower the temperature. It didn't work. So in 1893, between 1893 and 1896, Baron Edmund de Rothschild had no alternative but to build these deep underground cellars. Now each one is 50 yards long. They look like this, and they're built with sandstone, which actually crumbles when you run your fingers down it, but it's been here for 100 years, 120 years. The idea is to have the coolness during the hot months and be a steady temperature also during the winter months. To build these cellars cost the Rothschild family 11 million francs. To buy Chateau Lafite Rothschild cost only 4 million francs.
Wow.
So this is a sign of how big the expenditure was of the Rothschilds. And that was building the wineries, not planting all the vineyards.
They really did make a serious commitment to Carmel back in the late 1890s.
That's right, that's right. Okay, so what we're going to do is open up. We're going to go into this cellar, which for me symbolizes all the different generations of Carmel. You can see here, Gary, 3 different generations. You've got the cellar, which came from the 1890s. You've got the cement tanks, which came from the 1920s. And you've got the New World technology stainless steel tanks, which came in, say, the 1980s. So you've got 3 generations, which symbolizes all the different changes of Carmel. And you'll see with the cement tanks, if you look inside, they've all been refurbished using experts from Italy. They're clean inside. They're all state-of-the-art. And I think we're the only winery in Israel where you can see these cement tanks, which might be strange to you in Napa, but in the old world, there's a lot of cement tanks still being used.
Yeah, you know, I hear that there is some cement tanks. The reason people like cement tanks is because it's a porous material. And so that enables the wine to breathe a little bit. So that's amazing that they've actually taken this thing from many, many years ago. And with this young, baby-faced looking winemaker, Leo Laxer, that they're reintroducing these concrete cement tanks.
What goes around comes around. In a minute, we're going to see the big barrels have come back, the cement tanks have come back. There's nothing new under the sun in winemaking. You know that.
Sounds great. Let's go see some big barrels.
Okay. Okay, Gary, welcome to the Holy of Holies.
Now we're going to my favorite part of the winery.
So this is also new, like most of the things you see here are new, but this is the room where the tonnellerie, where they used to make the barrels 100 years ago, was 100 years ago. So it really symbolizes what Carmel's done. Again, here the barrels have come back in the same room where they were, the barrels were made 100 years ago. Which is a great story.
This really is a barrel room.
Yeah.